The Perth Lynx have shown resilience and mental toughness right throughout this Cygnett WNBL season. And they're going to need all that and more as they fight for survival against the hottest team in the competition. The Townsville Fire arrive in Perth on a 13-game winning streak that propelled them to the minor premiership and a one-game lead in this best-of-3 semi-final series. But the Lynx have that fearlessness born of youth. They're not intimidated, nor will they back down, and they only know one way: to attack. The stage is set at the Bendat Basketball Centre as Game 2 of the Lynx Fire's semi-final series starts now. Now all eyes in town.
That blew the roof off the fire pit.
Townsville Lynx claiming, Townsville Fire claiming Game 1, 81-68 over the Perth Lynx. As we welcome you to Game 2, Jason Bennett alongside 2006 World Champion Ginny Screen. Coach of the Year in 1996, Laurie Chiswick. We look ahead to Game 2 of this series, and it's do or die tonight for the Perth Lynx. Screeny, the Townsville Fire have been outstanding all season long, as we know. They're 4 from 4 against the Perth Lynx, and Steph Reid, well, they just haven't had an answer for her.
Talk about good things come in small packages. At 167 centimetres tall, this girl just keeps getting better and better as the season goes on. She is pocket dynamite in the full court. And not only that, she has the ability to play in the half court. She's got some great smarts coming off the pick and roll. If they go under, she'll hurt you. If you try and go over, she'll beat you with speed. But on top of that, she's able to create for her team. I am just so proud of the way that she has been able to blossom year after year under the tutelage of Shannon Seabohm. And I think the best is yet to come from this young woman.
Laurie, the Lynx have a very distinct style. We know it's based around speed and it's around their three-point shooting. They couldn't get either of those things going in Game 1, yet they were still competitive.
Well, I think they will go into tonight's game actually taking that into account and going, we can't shoot much worse than that. So they'll also be hoping that this game tonight is on trend with the rest of the WNBL finals. And by that I mean winning in front of your passionate home court fans. And we know that Perth have a strong supporter base and they'll really want to use that energy. However, having said that, they are going to have to shoot the 3-ball better, and they're going to have to try and get the pace of the game on their own terms.
There was just 4 points between the teams for 38 of the 40 minutes. And, of course, Townsville just got away in that last 2 minutes of that second term, Screeny. They put on 9 unanswered points. Carly Samuelson, 5 in 6 seconds.
No plays off for Townsville, and that's just the blessing that they have, that at any point in any time a player can step up. It might be Nicholson. She was pretty quiet in Game 1. Expect her to bounce back tonight. Hawkins did great. She wasn't her normal MVP self, but then you got Samuelson and the like. And for me, their punch off the bench as well with Satina Akuzo coming in, and then Ruth. I think she's the outlier for them in terms of what she is impactful with. They're just hard to stop.
Ryan Petrick said of those 15 shots from three-point range, of which they made 1 of 15, he said 13 of them in review, Laurie, were good shots. They just didn't drop. And some nights that happens.
Absolutely it does. So you have to go, well, we executed, we got the looks that we wanted, we got each other open. So the message to his players would be, keep shooting that 3-ball if you're open. They've done that all season long. They're really confident with their threes. They shoot the most threes out of any team in the whole competition. So absolutely they'll go in there with that mindset.
Time now to welcome in the 4th member of our commentary team this evening as we head courtside and welcome in Megan Huswaite and Megs. It's the longest road trip in the WNBL, as we know, Townsville to Perth. It's a 7-hour grind. Both teams only had yesterday to recover from the night before. How are they feeling?
Well, Jace, they are weary, but they are high on adrenaline. And if Townsville can advance to the grand final tonight, it is win and go home, literally. The Fire are on the red eye out of here at Perth at 11:45 p.m. tonight. They'll land in Brisbane at 6 a.m. tomorrow. They'll wait for a little while, then board another flight home to Townsville, arriving back at 11 a.m. So they want to get back in their own beds and back on their home court, should they be hosting a grand final next Saturday, or if this goes to 3 next week at the Fire Pit.
Thanks, Megs. Yes, Thursday night this game's scheduled for, if there is to be a Game 3 decider. Of course, in the other series between the Melbourne Boomers and the Southside Flyers, that is going to a third game. That's coming up a Wednesday night. Laurie, let's dig deep into the keys to the game here for Perth. They've lost all 4 games to the Flyers, to the Fire this season. Done a great job. They've been competitive, though, in all of those games. They haven't been blown away. What are they going to do to now take that next step and get over the line?
Well, we know that their style of play, the Lynx game style, is playing with pace and space and shooting that 3-ball. They love to rebound and run. Normally put up around 71 shots, but only put up 55, and that was because Townsville did a great job of slowing the tempo of the game. So as I said, Perth need to get it back on their terms and shoot the 3-ball. In Game 1, they shot, as you've mentioned, 6%. Shoot it with confidence. And secondly, their individual player scouts know and execute them in combination with team defensive rules. So Samuelson, she shoots the 3-ball really well, 3rd in the league. Don't leave her. Don't leave her out there. Maybe hedge and help. Roof, 12 boards. 4 of them offensive rebounds, so make sure you find a body and block her out. And you talked about Reed Screeney, how hard she is to defend. Do you let her score the points? Do you try and capitalize on other things? Whatever. Stick to the plan.
Well, that's a good point that you make there, and that's the reason I think Townsville will have to focus on controlling the tempo through the hands of Reed. Can she do what she needs to do? Whilst we know they're a great half-court game, I think they're best when they get out and push in that first 8 seconds. And finally, we know they went 1 of 15, Perth, but that ain't going to happen here. So the focus still has to be limit their threes. They average 29 a game. They only had 15 the other night. We know they're going to let it fly, but they've got to run off those 3-point line.
It's a good crowd in here in Perth. We are almost set to go. Game 2, the Lynx fighting for their season. They've had to defy the odds just to make it to the semi-finals. Now they've got to defy them again to survive them. Can they snap Townsville's 13-game winning streak and force a Game 3 decider back on their home floor at Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth for Game 2 of the Cygnett WNBL Lynx Fire semi-final series? We are set to go. Healthy crowd in. Game 2 underway.
Fair call by the referee there. I was watching that going, oh, that didn't seem very fair, and in terms of the in between the players. So it was nice to see him go, yep, that wasn't really a good jump ball from me. We'll reset and go again.
And then neither of them hit it. But we are away, and it is a Townsville ball to begin. Reed, Nicholson, extended warm-up in this one to make sure that foot's good to go. She's been managing it since January. She'll take the first shot of the game, and she'll make the first shot of the game.
And how good is that for the confidence of Nicholson? We know that she can shoot at an average of touch over 16 points a game, but she was quiet the other night. She only had the 8 points in the first game.
Bibby over the top. Scherf, critical role to play tonight. Can't finish.
Well, I like the fact that they're going to Scherf early. She needs to be involved early and can't just be a facilitator.
Samuelson so dangerous from long range. Roof. Nicholson. Working on Ryan. Draws a crowd. Leaves Hawkins open. Here's Whitcomb. Had a fantastic year. So good in game 1 as well. Sammy to tie it up, and she does.
How many times have we seen Sammy Whitcomb nail it from that point on the floor? It just seems like it is deja vu, night in, night out.
Nicholson to Samuelson. Carly feeds it through for Roof. Stripped away. Off the knee of Roof. And it will be a Perth ball. Ryan, the back end of her season's been just outstanding. Robbie Ryan, I mentioned it in game 1. Averaged 7 points in her first 9 games and 15 points a game since. Scherf tried to feed Whitcomb. Reed broke it up. And now scurries down the other end. Has got Nicholson open in the corner. Bibby tries to close her out, and Lawrence hit 2 from 2.
She shoots the 3-ball at 50%. They cannot leave her open with that, especially as she's feeling it. She shot the first 2 threes of the game.
Ryan to Scherf. Here's Atwell. gets there and scores.
And that's the confidence she needs as well. We know what Sammy Wickham and Lauren Scherf are capable of, but can Bibi, can Atwell step up tonight? Can Ryan continue her great form in order to keep the scoreboard ticking over?
Nicholson. Knocked away by Scherf. Picked up by Roof. Oh, she can't finish. Foul called.
I'm a fan, Laurie. I don't know where you sit in terms of what Roof has, but she's been a great pickup for Townsville. Her ability to do the little things, and she does them well. You know, she kind of flies under the radar because they've got Hawkins, they've got Nicholson, but her numbers, whilst they're not there and superstarish, they're just constant and they're consistent night in, night out.
Well, she's just tough. She's gritty. She sets good screens. She is a good passer. So, like you said, she's just a blue-collar worker and really invaluable to this Townsville.
9 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists a game. Real glue player for the Fire. Here's Ryan wanting to put some speed on. Takes on Nicholson, tests out that foot. Scherf, Bibi, looks to cut. Somehow finds its way to Robbie Ryan. A broken play might still work here for Perth. Scherf puts it on the floor, takes on Nicholson and banks it in.
Did she call that screeny? Tell me.
Well, look, Lauren, we know, can drain the three. Probably not off the glass as much, but really nice. Both teams shooting well and from the three-point line early stages of this opening quarter.
Samuelson can't get it to go, but kicks it back out to Roof, and now Reed. Gets the step on Whitcomb. Sammy sticks to the defensive task. Reed tries to slice her way through. Can't finish. Roof versus Scherf's going to be a critical battle. Michaela wins this one. Reed, Samuelson loses the handle. Roof comes through. There's that grit we spoke about. Keeps it alive. Shot clock to 3. She'll jack up a 3 and will be fouled. And she will go to the line to shoot 3.
And we saw that in game 1 too, and the end of the regular season with Roof, that she can actually shoot the 3, and she's got such a quick release at times that she lulls you in as a defender. We saw Bibi got caught out there and had to carry her hand but followed through with her body, which meant Roof now finds herself at the foul line. So whilst it's not her bread and butter, we know she's capable of it. And because she's a lefty, it just makes it a little bit harder to guard at times.
The other thing for Townsville and for Perth is that a lot of times when I think of game 1, how Townsville scored in that last 8 seconds of the shot clock, maybe even 5, 4. And so Perth really have to make sure they take care of business and really focus on those last few seconds of the shot clock.
Michaela, a 79% free throw shooter this season as we head courtside to Megs.
Just on Robbie Ryan, I spoke to her before the game and she said it's a really proud moment playing in her first home final tonight. Jason Screeney, we had her debut in round 1. It was a baptism of fire. She was pickpocketed by Christy Wallace in the opening play, but she feels like she can now contribute to this team and have a say in them advancing this series to a deciding third game.
Yeah, thanks, Megs. I've really seen Robbie Ryan emerge in the back half of the season. She's been fantastic to watch. Her footwork just about as good as anyone in the competition. Her ability to get in the paint, elite. Whitcomb, Bibi, confronted by Hawkins, turns it over. Steph Reed. There is Ryan with a job on her at the moment. Not quite. Hung around, and there's Roof again.
Again, the right spot at the right time. Michaela Roof, that's 2 baskets in a row for her that have just, the ball's basically fallen into her hands.
Whitcomb at the other end responds. Reed, Hawkins, now Nicholson, confronted by Atwell. So it goes to Hawkins, who tries to sneak inside Atwell. Tough finish, but we've seen Tiana make plenty of tough finishes this season.
She had an open 3 there off that pick and roll action, thought better of it, got ball reversal and then was able to penetrate. Pick and roll is going to have to be tidied up on both ends defensively at the moment, because that 2-person game between Scherf and Whitcomb down the other end is going to be a mainstay tonight in this contest.
That's that game you love, Laurie, that little move there.
Absolutely, and I think we'll see a lot of that. Just get it up in the air. Scherf's got great hands, and she will finish it. And this is a little turnout play that they set up for Samuelson.
Now Reed again carves her way through traffic. What a finish. Just so confident, just so good on her feet, Screeney. How do you stop that?
The footwork, I mean, it's just phenomenal watching her, and she's got a beautiful shot fake as well, which just lulls you into thinking she's going to release it. And then because she has the foot speed, she can put on the afterburners. Oh, she's just going from strength to strength.
Talking to Kelsey Griffin off air last night, she said, by the time you're in the key with Steph Reed, it's already too late. You've got to do your work before she gets that far.
Absolutely. And for me also, I think when I look at her size, and a lot of people would say she's too small, I think of some of the greats. Christy Harrower was 167 centimetres. Michelle Timms was under 170 centimetres. They were some of the best point guards that have ever come out of country. Laurie, you know it. We've watched them. You've coached against them as well. And Steph Reed, she's 26. She's still got plenty of years left in her in terms of what she's capable of.
It was a lovely first step from Sammy Whitcomb. Just couldn't quite hang on. Opportunity goes begging there. There's that step. She put one on Steph that time.
She did indeed, and that's going to be interesting, that contest, if they match up on each other in the full court and in the half court. It's difficult because they're offering so much punch on the offensive end for their teams, but they've got to do it on the defensive end as well.
I have to say, and when I look back to game one, I think Sammy does the best job on Steph Reed. I mean, she's got a great IQ, and I think when she's defending her, just takes the edge off of Reed.
Atwell to Scherf. So a solid start here from Perth. Bibby, nice. Back within a point.
Strong, robust body is Chloe Bibby. We know she loves the three. It's not falling for her a lot towards the end of this season and obviously in the final series thus far. But nice to see her finding other ways to get on the scoreboard through penetration in that one.
He has it again here. Atwell goes in the other direction to Scherf instead. Sharp cuts across. Whitcomb looking for some space. Will she go herself? Creates her own space and finishes. The Lynx in front.
I love it how when Sammy comes off that pick and roll and she just probes and looks and sees what the defense gives her.
5 points for Whitcomb, 5 for Scherf. Well, Nicholson has 6 and Ruth 5 for Townsville. Here is Lauren Nicholson. Gives it to Hawkins. And she finishes with a lovely touch.
And that's a smart read off the pick and roll there. We can see that the Perth Lynx are almost in a drops or a bit of a sag, more worried about the penetration. And what's happening is the screener isn't rolling deep. They're either popping or just doing a short roll. As you see, a beautiful pass from Lauren Scherf. She's averaging for a 5 player, 5.3 assists a game. The last player that I think had the ability to pass like she does with the capabilities that she does is Michelle Brogan comes to mind. And Scherf is just playing like a point guard.
Roof's pass inside to Samuelson, outside to Nicholson was beautiful. Lauren Nicholson on fire in this opening term. She's up to 9 points, all threes. Whitcomb pops it over the top for Scherf.
There it is again. I'm going to love watching this all game, guys.
Scores level again, 20 apiece. Samuelson, Hawkins. Response from Townsville.
Game 2 of a semi-final, and the calibre of talent and also the skill level and the execution has just been phenomenal in this opening quarter as Scherfie does a turnover.
Just a hesitation there. Just a hesitation. She was thinking about the first option and then hesitated and went for the second, but in the process took that step. So, Laurie, what are you noticing so far in the first 8 minutes?
Well, I'm looking at the shooting percentages of both teams. Field goal percentage for the Lynx, 82%, and for the Fire, 53%. We are seeing a shooting classic right now.
Just three balls taken so far by the Lynx. They've made 2 of them. So once again, adjusting their game. Heel, Hawkins for 3. Front iron, cleaned up by Ryan. Shyla Heel into the game. Ryan loses the handle, just retrieves it. Scherf, Whitcomb gets rid of Reed. Can she finish? She can. And it's Heel that went flying. My apologies.
I'd hold my hand up and celebrate too. That was all class, that penetration, absorbed the contact, was able to stay balanced on her feet and had secondary movement, head on the ring and found the bottom of the net.
Samuelson sets up with a heavy Scherf. Whitcomb.
And I like right now how the refs are just letting them play. That was a no call, that last one. It was a good no call, and let the players decide what's happening out there.
Hawkins, contact there with Sharp. Here's Nicholson. 9 points in the opening term. You can make it 11. Lauren Nicholson, what a start.
Just on the line there, lack of awareness of where she was. Would have preferred the 3 and the 2, but she is money.
Ryan, Scherf from long range, not this time. Hawkins comes up with the board, wants to put some speed on it now. What she got ahead, not much. So she'll pull out. Nicholson, Nakuzo back to Lauren. Steps around Sharp, gets to a position she likes, and Lauren Nicholson is sizzling in this opening term.
Well, she didn't exactly light it up the last game, but she's making up for it this game already at 11 points.
Up to 13 now, in fact, after that last 2 dropped. And we're into the last 16 seconds of the term. Whitcomb needs some support, goes herself, front iron. Akuzo, time here for Townsville to get the last shot. Heel, pushes it. Samuelson wide open. Where have we heard that before? Not this time. Scherf. The Lynx see off that late danger. It's Townsville by 5 at the opening change in Game 2 of this Cygnett WNBL semi-final series. Townsville 27, Perth 22.
We sub, we're switching every on ball for the next 2 minutes. As soon as this sub logs back in, we're going back to bluing everything. So for 2 minutes, switching everything. Again, aggressive jump switches. If a Z rolls, you'll need to scram it out. We good? Offensively, action, action, action. Right now, I want to be in delay, and I want to be in delay over. So, again, I'm throwing it to Matt. That weak side, whoever that weak side player is, over it. And again, point guard, and I'm into zoom action off that. We're playing from there. Lastly, defensively, like that last 2 scores, it was simply an under on Nicholson, who's already hit 3 threes, and then a randomised peel where Nicholson only got to here. Again, we're peeling layups. The long 2 we've got to contest. A piece of the paint, then you can peel. That long 2 rubbish, you can't peel that one. We're good, let's go again.
Quarter time at the Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth. Lauren Nicholson with 13 points in the opening term, 5 of 6 shooting, as the Fire open up a 5-point lead at the first change. They are looking to stamp their ticket to the 2022-23 WNBL Grand Final Series. Must-win game here for Perth to send it to a 3-game decider. They trail at the moment by 5. Clinch Hoycard into the game. Atwell. Kuzo collects off the front iron. Here's Samuelson. Zatina. Heel with a step. Ryan with the quick hands, but it only ended up in the arms of Tiana Hawkins. Gratefully takes the opportunity. Margin now 7. Ryan, turnover. Here's Hawkins again, the beneficiary. Can go herself, and does. And just like that, it's a 9-point game. Danger time here for Perth.
Absolutely, Jason. This is what they can do. They can just get consecutive stops, 2 or 3 in a row, and then they can go bang, bang, bang on the offensive end in quick succession and then blow you out of the water before you even can blink. And right now, possession game for the Perth Lynx in the half court. They've got 5 turnovers already, and we're only a touch into the second quarter. That is where the game is right now for them.
Let's head courtside to Megs.
defensive focus in Shannon Seaborn's quarter-time huddle was on Whitcomb and Scherf. They've combined for 16 of Perth's 22 points in the first quarter. He wants to see a bit more communication from his players. And Shyla Hill, as you can see, the starting point guard as Steph Reid begins this quarter on the bench.
Thanks, Megs. Another stop for Townsville. Kuzo, Hill, steps back. Just short. Now Atwell. Some important offensive possessions here, Laurie, for Perth to just stabilise the situation. They're down by 9, haven't played poorly. That will help.
That's the sort of shot that they want. Kick the ball up ahead, penetration, kick it out to a shooter. They just need to show a bit of poise out there. That's their style of game. Keep going to that.
Kuzo and Atwell come together off the ball. Ref calls the offensive foul on Zatina Akuzo.
Have a look at this. Nice penetration from Amy Atwell. Zatina just getting caught and dragged into that onside help a little bit too much. And Clinch Hoykar, we know that she's at what she's out there for, and that is to shoot the 3 ball. And good to see what she does well and finding the bottom of the net.
Ryan to Clinch Hoykar. Here's Bibby for 3. That's good too.
Oh, they're starting to feel it.
That's the DNA of this Perth Lynx side. Generally average 29 3-point attempts a game. Most in the competition. Only 15 in game 1. And that was credit to the Townsville D, just not allowing them those open looks. Screeny, which they're trying to manufacture again here.
And what I love right now is they're not living or dying by the 3-point line. They're taking the open, great 3-point shot. They've actually got 16 points in the paint, so their pick and roll, their ability to get 2 feet in the paint on penetration or via pass is working for them. Now, because Townsville have to adjust, the 3 ball is opening up as well.
Margin back to just 3 points. Heel, Samuelson, Hawkins, spins on Bibby, what a move.
Great move, great baseline drive, just found her defender's body and was able to spin and finish strongly on the left.
Hill putting some pressure on Ryan, loses the handle. Good pressure there from Shyla Hill. Frustration on the face of Robbie Ryan.
Have a look here at this one. A nice little up fake, goes middle, but then says, I'll put on my dancing shoes, and shuffles to the baseline, gets Chloe Bibby up out of stance, and showing us all class is Tiana Hawkins.
Joins Nicholson on 13 points apiece. Here is Loz. Looking for an option, probing. Heel will go for a long 3 herself and make it. And just like that, the Fire hit back, margin out to 8 once again.
And we know that Shyla can certainly do that. You can't leave some space for her. She's a great ball handler, but can also shoot the 3.
Called.
And that's the action that's been working well for them, as we see here. Nice little action. Shyla goes, nope, don't have any other options. I'm going to find the bottom of the net. She was huge for them off the bench in game 1. She had the 14 points. But for Perth Lynx, their elbow catch work from their 4 and 5 types and the ability to cut off those and feeding them has been really, really working well for them in the opening couple of minutes of this second quarter and also the opening term.
I agree, Screen. It's almost like a give and go, and they just know they have that chemistry. They've done it all season, where with a Scherf, they get it high in the air. Whether it's a guard, they bounce past it, but they've really connected on that.
So margin back to 6 after Atwell makes those free throws. Here's Reid up against Whitcomb. Roof, again, they're happy to sag off her and allow her to shoot. She went 1 for 8 in game 1. Screening, you could see it was a definite tactic to say, look, Michaela, if you want to shoot that, we're going to let you.
Absolutely, and sometimes you've got to ride and die on certain things with the scout, and as a coach, you'll live and die by something. But right there, right then, that's what Ruth does well, is she competed on the offensive glass there when Nicholson put it on the rim. 1 on 3 to her, and she gets possession for her team. Doesn't get the stat, but they get possession.
Nicholson has it now, single digits. Here is Ruth. Will she work on Sharp? She will, gets to position. Tries to get under the hoop, does get under the hoop and finishes.
What a great use of her body there, and the poise that she showed to take it under the basket. Didn't panic at all, and great finish.
Trying to shake heel. Now uses Bibby. Steps inside for 2 and drains it.
I like it. Great option. Nice little horn set, which is 2 screens coming out of the elbow. Whitcomb came off it hard. She dragged the attention. Chloe Bibby pops. They know they have to close out with a hand to her, and she finds a 1-bounce J as we see Tiana Hawkins Getting fouled there by the baseline cameraman.
Tiana Hawkins is a problem at the moment. She's up to 15 points. Problem for the crew as well. She's just taking everyone out.
She seems all right, shaking it off with a smile as well. And when you're playing and balling out like she is at the moment, 7 of 10 from the field.
So we knew the through ball is going to be critical in this one. Let's get the thoughts of Amy Atwell and Carly Samuelson as to the role the three-point shot has to play in tonight's game.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we don't have two awful shooting nights like that in a row. I'm going to back every one of my shooters on my team every time, so hopefully we can come out and hit some shots.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of team Perth is. When you watch them, they can get hot from deep really quickly. So we got to, do what we did last game. I think we can take care of some things better as well, but we just want to make sure we're locked in on the defensive end for sure.
Perth 4 for 8 from 3. Fire, interestingly, 5 for 8 from 3. This time out brought to you by CTM Sport. Here's Ryan.
One possession only. 2 passes over half court. Flip man to zone. Let's go.
So dangerous time. We saw Laurie in game 1. Scores were level, 150 left in the second term, and the Fire just got on one of those rolls where they slammed on 9 points straight and blew the game up. 8 points the margin at the moment. Critical minutes here for Perth.
Well, I like that timeout by Patrick. He's going to try and change it up a little bit so that Townsville are feeling a little bit comfortable in what they're doing, their ball movement, their shots that they're able to take. So we're going to see them show a man-to-man and then fall back into a zone. Just to mix it up, make them think.
Court side to Meggs.
One big superstar in the pass for Townsville went left just when you thought she was going to go left. The message from Ryan Petrick for Tiana Hawkins, who has 15 points, was make her beat you by going right.
Thanks, Meggs. Tiana loves to drive left. They know that. That's the scout. Here's Scherf for 3. Not this time. Away comes Reed. Go-ahead pass for Hawkins. And it's a 10-point game.
And you saw in that last possession from the Perth Lynx is Sammy Wickham got a little bit frustrated, and I would too, because in the opening quarter she was getting deep into the paint and getting head turns defensively from Townsville, but no one was cutting for her. There was no secondary cutting action on the weak side, all the strong side, as we see Townsville doing things, we know we've seen them in the last couple of rounds, is they punish you in transition, especially if you take poor shots or turn the ball over.
So just 2 points for Steph Reed tonight, 1 of 4. She's very much been the facilitator. We know the plan for Perth was to allow Steph to get hers and be the scorer if she wants to be, just restrict her impact on others. But right now, Nicholson's got 13, Hawkins has got 17. So 30 of the 42 points from those two. Here's Bibby. Tough shot. Sharp tries to keep it alive, but can't beat the shot clock.
Great defense by Townsville, forcing a contested, not a comfortable, off-balance shot, and as the shot clock expires, really good defense.
Midway point of the second term. Townsville 1 up in the series. They lead by 10 here. Heel, lovely feed through for Roof. Nice finish.
And that middle pick and roll is creating havoc deep into this second quarter, and it did in the opening term as well for the Perth Lynx defense. They started in a drops, they tried switching, and now they've gone back out of the switching as we see Sammy Wickham finally getting a much-needed bucket for the Perth Lynx, but it's their defense that needs to tidy up.
Sammy up to 11. Scherf has 7, so does Bibby. Hawkins to Heel. Back to Tiana. Sitting on 17 points right now. Not that time. Whitcomb to Bibby. Going to spread the floor. Sammy open, calling for it. Instead, she goes the other way. Sharp shot won't go. Whitcomb a bounce pass. Not sure that was the intention, but it worked.
But that's the cut you need, right?
Yes,
they're not relying on the three-point shot there. Sammy Wickham again had the ball deep in the paint off her own rebound, and then Sharp did the smart thing, was able to cut off that and find a nice, easy bucket.
Orthodox pass from Whitcomb was effective. Margin back to 8.
They have got to get a body on Roof and block out. Second chance opportunities are really hurting.
Sharp pulls this one in. Here's Whitcomb again. Looking to take control of the game right now. They realise 10-point margin, dangerous. They've got it back to 8, but a turnover there. Samuelson, again good D from Townsville. Heel, one-on-one with Sharp. Will she take her on? Yes, she does. Kicks it out. Reed. She tries to carve through. Doesn't quite finish. It's still there. Reed will go again. Keeps it alive for Townsville.
7th offensive rebound for the night for Townsville.
Heel. Samuelson, well done. Atwell slaps it away.
And that's the difference right now. They're not getting great looks on the offensive end, are the Lynx, but they've also given up the ball 9 times. And then also they're giving up second opportunities for Townsville on the offensive glass. They've got 7-0 boards. 2 areas that are completely in their control.
Absolutely, and we talked about at the start, they've got to find a body and block out. The other thing I feel like Perth are doing is tapping the ball instead of going out strongly and really reeling it in.
Samuelson beats the shot clock. And once again, the margin's back out to 10 points. Greeny, you mentioned those turnovers, 9-2 against the Perth Lynx.
And of those is 14 points, and that hurts Ryan Petrick as well. Not only the turnovers, but that out-of-bounds play. It shouldn't be that easy, and that's why potentially he's called this timeout just to rally his troops, stem the bleeding a little bit, and see what they can do in the last couple of minutes of this second.
Timeout brought to you by Cygnett, Aussie design, digital accessories, Cygnett.com. Here's Ryan.
Loz. Again, up and get it. Robbie under. Throw it to Loz. You're sending a back screen for Bibby into the post. You might get it, you probably won't. The real action then is the zoom for Sam. Coming off all that.
We got Bibby, you'll need to clear out if you don't get it. Next time down the floor, basically delay under. Wing catch via Loz. Again, need to find more bodies on roof. Loz can't do both. We good? Slow again. Go.
So the result of the turnover count, which is 9-2 against the Lynx, and all those O boards for the Fire, they've had 7, is, Laurie, that the Fire have had 11 more shots in the game. You just can't give a good team 11 more shots in less than a half a basketball.
Well, certainly not the Townsville Fire for sure, because they are, we know how they're playing, we know how informed, we know how confident they are as a team and how they're working so well together. So certainly not in this game.
Courtside to Megs.
We've spoken so much about Perth's three-point shooting this season, but Townsville have a shooter in the building. It's Carly Samuelson, and Shannon Seabomb's drawn up something for her to get into the game in the last 2.5 minutes.
Big bucket from the corner from Chloe Bibby. As the Lynx look to hang in here. Critical 2.5 minutes. Can't get blown away like they did in game 1. Need to just keep it close, hang around here. Keep scrapping. Samuelson. Reed. Against Whitcomb. Whitcomb does well. Reed kicks it to Akuzo, who finishes.
Close down someone. Another player steps up. Satina's first 2 points of the night, but beautiful form, beautiful release, nice touch. The girl just keeps getting better and better the more minutes she plays as this season goes on.
Scherf looking for an option. The option's Whitcomb, and why not? It's been a good one. Not this time. Samuelson off to Reed. Steph again happy to push the pace. Nicholson dynamite in the opening turn. Feeds Hawkins.
So that's just a product of D-trans and not talking and communicating. So you may not be in the right spot, but you need to talk, you need to point, you need to protect the rim at all costs. There is Hawkins wide open.
Let's head into the Townsville huddle. Shannon Seabomb, his side in control right now. They're up by 12.
Great fucking job moving the ball. Really good moving the ball, right? And like we said, if they're going to stunt, just pitch it, and then they're done, right? Let's go, next play, go horns down, right? Horns down, so whoever's got Scherf is the one we're going to come off, right? But I want to go Carl's side, right? So dribble off Carl's side, the other big, go and get this screen, right? Hop. Now you're coming off this. Again, if they chase you into that pull-up jumper, right? You know, if they go under, we can shoot the 3 or we can twist it, right? Cool with that? Good. Hey, let's be really cognizant here of Bibby, right? And again, Sammy, right? Don't let Sammy get off here, but make sure we're keeping Bibby off the 3 line, right? Here we go. Good job. Fire. Good job.
Apologies for the colourful language as we head courtside to Megs.
Perth season's on the line. That certainly was the sentiment from coach Ryan Petrick. He said to his players, you're not trying anywhere near hard enough. He wants them to improve their rebounding on the eve of halftime and says they simply need to find some more possessions.
And I think that comes through physicality. Like, neither team has been to the foul line. No one is in foul trouble. There's only been, I think, 3 fouls for both teams that have been called in the opening 20 minutes of the game. If you want to try and close this deficit, up the tempo in terms of physicality.
Feels a little different to last night, doesn't it? Scherf to the rack, but doesn't finish. Clash of bodies.
Oh my goodness, last night's game, we didn't know who would come out a survivor there. There were that many players on the floor, and it was phenomenal.
But that's just sometimes what you got to do, and it's not about being rough and dirty, but it's about being physical and just bumping cutters, blocking out with assertive behaviour, because potentially that person will think twice about doing it again. And right now, Townsville are just having their way in the offensive end, both in the full court and in the half court. And that's the thing that they need, is just like they're from their leader there from Sammy Whitcomb, charging out really hard, putting her body on the line and just challenging certain situations, as we see Samuelson. I don't think Sammy meant to do that at all. Or sorry, Samuelson, but Sammy just got in the way there.
Yeah, she changed lanes just as she arrived at the intersection.
Either way, they get possession.
Sammy having a laugh about it. Carly not maybe quite as amused. So 73 seconds left. Pause in hostilities as they clean the floor. Can the Lynx eat into this deficit a little here? Atwell with the inbound to Ryan. Scherf. Back to Ryan. Back to Scherf. Back to Ryan. Now to Atwell. Takes on Samuelson. Feeds it through. Ryan's open. Maybe not the intended play. It worked out even better. The fumble from Scherf forced her to kick it out, and they end up with 3.
Just put that one in the memory bank. Ball through hands, inside out, penetration, ball reversal, easy bucket.
That wasn't.
But that's the issue, right? Isn't it, Laurie? It's not about scoring. They've got 41 points going into the half time. It's defense. Townsville are looking at a 100-point ball game.
It is about defense, and I was just surprised even that last time out. Ryan was all about their offense, and they executed it really well. But 52 points right now, Steph Reed, they need to address their deficiencies defensively.
Steph Reed, 87% free throw shooting. You don't want to send her to the line. Margin back to 12. Whitcomb, tough finish, puts some spin on it, won't go, then competes under the basket, which creates the opportunity for Ryan to finish.
That was Ryan's points, but Sammy Whitcomb is doing everything that she can right now for her team in order to keep this one with a potential win coming into the second half. She's got 11 points, 4 rebounds, but just her work rate.
Kuzo tries to work off Scherf, who stands her ground. 4 red singlets in front of Steph Reed that time as she attacked the hoop. Nowhere to go, had to kick it out. Final play of this first half. Can Whitcomb come up with some magic? Sammy for 3. Not with that. Roof flings it, and the clock beats Lauren Nicholson. And at halftime, we've got ourselves a 10-point game. Townsville 53, Perth 43. The Lynx adding 21 points in that second term. The Fire adding 26 to double their 5-point quarter-time lead. They lead by 10 at the half.
They were sublime. I can't fault Townsville Fire both offensively and defensively. Their pick and roll. But I still think Perth are in this, Laurie. They've got so much to offer.
Megs is with Lauren Nicholson.
I sure am, Loz. You guys were particularly happy with your defence on Thursday night. You'd have to be happy with both at half-time.
Yeah, look, we are happy, but we're definitely not satisfied going into the half. We need to stop them better in transition. They're getting a lot of looks. Yeah, we need to really shut down Sammy in the second half.
You had a great first quarter. We saw you do an extended warm-up. You're just getting everything back going after a bit of injury. How are you feeling at half-time in game 2?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. Better than I have all season, so it's good signs.
That is good signs. Get in there. We'll see you in the second half.
Thanks, Neg.
13 points for Lauren Nicholson, 19 for Tiana Hawkins, while Whitcomb has 11 for Perth. The Fire, 2 quarters of basketball away from another grand final. Can the Lynx find something in this second half? It is halftime at the Bendat Basketball Centre. Townsville 53, Perth 43.
It felt really good to be out there and just, you know, my kids were here and we had a great crowd. What I'm doing now, it's more just because I love the sport, and when I play, I have so much fun. I enjoy it.
Share the dignity. $50 for every three-pointer sunk across round 4.
To be able to see the girls talking about periods and just get over it, and the normality of having these conversations makes my heart sing.
Cygnett is thrilled to be able to donate $5,000 to share the dignity.
Now to Blitz Arms for another 3. Oh, he's feeling it tonight. Blitz Arms. Why not? When it's your night, it's your night. Pop over the top to Blitz Arms. He's been lights out tonight. So that top 4 is going to be highly competitive. First to get there. Blitz Arms with 40.
George, top of the arc. She'll turn and fire herself. Kayla George, a nice pass down low. Murray, extra pass. George for 3.
Put that one on repeat.
Oh, spinning around Cabillo, loses it momentarily, goes in again. Oh, Jade Melbourne, but just keeps pulling stuff out of her trick bag. Melbourne up against Cabillo, 2 young guns, and Melbourne pops it in.
Rochi to inbound. 2.7. Kayla Thornton makes her move in the lane, just misses. Oh, so close, and the Flames have come into Melbourne and stolen victory at John Cain Arena.
It was just announced the biggest crowd in WNBL history. A proud moment, I can imagine. Yeah, it's so special. The crowd's been amazing tonight, and yeah, incredible.
Been a fantastic season. Still so much basketball to come. Laurie Chiswick, I understand you've had your staff, I didn't even realise you had staff, you've had your staff poring over the abacus during the week and you've come up with some numbers. Talk us through them.
Well, I really wanted to do a deep dive, Jason and Screeny, into how the league shooting had changed over the years. So I compared a season 10 years ago, 2012-13, to this season. And if you look at those first 2 rows, you can see that the numbers for the 2-point percentages and 3-point percentages have improved by about 5%. So definitely our shooting's gotten better. And the other change is, if you look down just slightly, you can see that compared to 10 years ago, we are basically taking, and this is important, the same number of shots per game, but we are shooting more threes. So 10 years ago, maybe 1 in 5 are threes, and now 1 in 3 are threes. So that results in that final line where we can see that our points per game have increased across the league by about 9 points.
What does it mean?
Well, you could have some huge debates on this about, 10 years ago to now. Without a doubt, the entertainment factor and the ability to put the ball on the hole from multiple points on the court is phenomenal, not just from the point guards, but through to the 5 players as well. And the game's changed. We don't have that big player presence that we used to have, like Jenny Whittle that used to play in our league and the like. And now we've become more of an outside dominant presence. Is defence as good, Laurie?
Well, that's what the purists would say that. Certainly from an entertaining point of view, these numbers are great. And you could deep dive into that. But I just thought, I always get asked that. And I just felt this year in particular, the shooting, look at the score right now, 53. And so, the other stat I looked at was in that earlier period, 10 years ago, the number of 100-plus point games that were scored, and it was 5. And that was done by 1 team. This year, 100-plus point games, 15 times with 7 teams. So you can just see, and we could well and truly be in for a 100-point game today.
Absolutely. Could be 16 coming up tonight, and Ryan Petra could be making that point in
ends of the court, as you mentioned. Defensively, they've got some really good rules in place, and these numbers complement that as well. They're shooting at 55%, 50 from the 3-point line. points in paint, as you mentioned, they're mixing up how they're getting their points. So to me, it's really clinical at both ends.
Steph Reid just 5 points tonight, but let's not diminish the impact she's had on the game. She's got that capacity to be a facilitator or to be a scorer herself. Tonight, she's been a facilitator, and Tiana Hawkins has got 19 points, Nicholson 13. They've been the main destroyers.
And they have, and Nicholson went whack, whack, whack. First 3 shots were all threes for the night in that opening quarter. Hawkins has done some beautiful things in a one-on-one contest, but she's also been at the hand of being in the right spot at the right time. There's been some beautiful penetrations from Reid and Nicholson as we see her go flying there and getting hit by the cameraman. But she just has a knack of being in the right spot at the right time. And for someone her height, she has beautiful ability and athleticism to run the full court and get on the end of some transition buckets as well.
So it's the Fire by 10 points at the half. The Cygnett WNBL semi-finals continue Wednesday night. The Game 3 decider in the compelling Melbourne Southside series coming away live and exclusive on ESPN KO. Cannot wait for that. Wednesday, 7:30. Boomers, Flyers. It's going to be explosive. Game 2 of the semi-final series between Townsville and Perth. Third quarter action underway. It's Townsville by 10 points, looking to close this series out tonight in Perth and head to a grand final. The Lynx fighting for survival in this second half. Reid, Nicholson, steps around Ryan, attracts a crowd. Back to Steph. She's got some space and makes that first shot.
And that hurts because Perth Lynx came out in a bit of a 2-3 zone there in the first play of the opening in the third term. And the worst shot that could possibly happen for you when you match up against a zone is that 3, and they found a way.
Just need our man to sit down there, which he did. Thanks very much. Much appreciated. Here's Hawkins. Reed, Samuelson, Nicholson, great ball movement again, gets Hawkins open. Not quite, but Roof keeps it alive.
That's her 5th offensive rebound, Michaela Roof.
Perfect start to this third term from Townsville. They are executing right now. And just like that, they're up by 16. Ryan, Bibby. Oh, they needed that.
She's been good. She's bounced back since game 1. She was really quiet, didn't find the bottom of the net a lot. And tonight she's been productive. She's got the 12 points, shooting well from outside as well. But now we just need others. Sherfy was quiet in that opening half. Amy Atwell had looks, but they just got to get back to better ball movement, deeper penetration, and taking great shots rather than good shots. But again, it's defense.
I was just going to say, sorry, Screeny, defense is what it's about.
Let's head courtside to Megs.
Just keeping an eye on Zatina Akuso, who did some extra stretching and spoke with the physio out of halftime. We know she remarkably came back from a broken foot earlier in the season. Just the 7 minutes court time, but they have got Lara McSpadden they can bring into the game. She's yet to hit the court tonight.
Thanks, Megan. This series being played in, well, much friendlier spirits than the Melbourne South side. I wasn't seeing too many opponents pick each other up the floor last night. I saw quite the opposite. Opponents sending opponents to the floor, but not so much picking up, Screeny.
Well, that's the thing that actually concerns me for either of these teams, whoever's successful in going forward and meeting either Southside or Boomers, is the level of physicality they're going to face in that grand final from either team, because they're not getting it in this semi-final.
Whitcomb. There's the 2 game that Laurie loves so much. Laurie, there it is. If you're Ryan, are you just pounding that in the second half?
Well, I would certainly look at it a lot, you know, every opportunity that you have, because they're scoring out of it. It's hard to defend. Townsville make an adjustment before you do.
Reed steps back, steps in, steps through. Nicholson feeds Roof. Gee, their ball movement's impressive.
One thing I feel about Perth's closeout on when it's out to the outside shooters is they're going too far, and they're able to just punch it in straight away. That happened over and over.
Great hands from Nicholson, strips the ball, creates another opportunity for her team. Roof behind the back dribble. And now Reed will set things up. Wants to take on Bibby. Well done, Scherf. Just the extra body there enough. It'll remain a Townsville ball.
And again, Roof getting her hands to contests every single time the ball is on the rim for her team. She didn't come up with the stat there, but then she forced the hand of Perth, and now they find themselves with possession. She's been doing that all night.
Catch and shoot for Samuelson is short. Bibby to Ryan. Perth get some momentum and get this crowd up and going in the Bendat Basketball Centre. Scherf for 3 would get it done, but that shot won't. Argent sits at 13. Perth court announcer trying to get the crowd up and going.
Perth are staying in that zone, Screeny, that you mentioned at the start of the quarter.
Reed to the corner. Samuelson, quick catch and release. Away comes Scherf to Ryan. Someone start to get hot here for Perth. Bibby needs an option, feeds it back out to Scherf. Will she go herself against Hawkins, puts it on the floor, now kicks it out. Robbie for 3. Quite. Away comes Roof, in comes Ryan and steals it brilliantly. Great play, Robbie Ryan. Can Scherf finish? She holds it up. Off to Whitcomb. Puts on the speed and draws a foul. Great play, Robbie Ryan. It's going to be some of those moments of individual brilliance to try and get her team back in the game. Didn't give up on this play.
And that indeed, Jace, is the correct thing in terms of just those momentum things, the blue-collar work, doing the 1% things, putting your body on the line to get those stops can just give you the momentum. And obviously it gave Sammy Whitcomb that opportunity, but she earned going to the stripe here. Tiana Hawkins adding and turning up the physicality just a little bit on that one. But again, it's not about scoring right now. It's about stemming the bleeding and flow on the offensive end for Townsville. The Perth Lynx need to get some collective stops.
The pause while they tidied the court. Whitcomb makes them both. Reed to Hawkins. Over the top to Samuelson, just floated on her a little bit. Carly has to keep it alive. Well done, Hawkins. And here's Reed again. Ryan, rather, against Reed. Takes her on and finishes. Robbie Ryan gets the crowd up and going. They need a spark, and Robbie delivers.
That is inspirational stuff. That's 2 in a row that Robbie Ryan has come up with and really got this crowd behind them and her teammates. That's what makes things happen. That's what those little things you can see here. And great finish.
Tough finish, tough. And she should be happy and celebrating, and that's forced the hand of Shannon Seabom to call the timeout.
Timeout called. This one brought to you by DIY Blinds. To fit out your home with Australian-made designer quality window furnishings. DIYblinds.com.au. Order your free samples today. What's Shannon got to say here?
You know what's coming now. Be organised, break it, right? This one here, man or zone, break it, go into strong, right? And play strong. Yeah, so you inbound, get the 2 guards back, right? Steph's, are you all right? Yep. Steph's got it, the other guard behind, Hawk to the middle, right? And then if we can punish it, go punish it.
So we have to be strong with the ball, all of us, so like keep it out of our hands and stuff.
Right? And then against the zone, right? Like, get into stuff quicker and play with pace, right? Hey, if we just move it, then they break down quick because they don't know where to go, right? Here we go. Play.
Laurie, finals are all about responses, and they were great in game 1, Townsville. Every time Perth tried to come at them, they stemmed the flow. Well, Perth are coming at them right now.
And that was a really good steadying timeout by Shannon Seabom. Just some instructions to his players, what he wants them to run, whether it's zone or man-to-man, and to make sure that they are, at the same time, slowing down some things with Perth, not letting them turn the ball over. You could hear Michaela Roof saying, strong with the ball.
So Robbie Ryan has the and 1 here. Let's head courtside to Megs.
Sammy Whitcomb almost blowing an absolute gasket in that timeout, getting around her teammates, imploring them that the momentum is beginning to swing, and getting completely around Robbie Ryan, who's played a big part in that.
Scherf did enough. Perth ball.
And that's what you want from your leaders, right? They know they've been in the game so long. They know, understanding, they've got the experience behind them, that they know when it's shifting and turning. And that's what you want from their leader, the Perth Lynx in Sammy Whitcomb, is just driving them, whether it be via voice or by her actions on the court.
So margin sits at 9. This game delicately poised. Perth, for the first time tonight, feels like they've got a bit of momentum in this game. It was a really good timeout from Shannon Seabom. Just took the crowd out of things again. Perth have to start the process of building once more. Ryan versus Nicholson. Steps past Hawkins, tries to blow past Nicholson, opens the door for Bibby. Will it go? It won't. Ryan's there as well. She's everywhere. Can Sammy finish? She can. Now we've got a game at 6 points.
How good has Ryan been in this opening 4 minutes of the third quarter? She has changed the game single-handedly, not through her scoring, but her defensive prowess and her commitment to the possession game.
Lovely pass from Reed to Samuelson. Offensive foul. Who's starting to roll here for Perth?
Sammy was pretty quick to point out to the referee that she stepped over.
Have a look at this, Apoy. She could have taken the shot, thought better of it, and why wouldn't you when you got Sammy Whitcomb on the 3? But that's the 4th turnover for the Townsville Fire in this quarter, and they had 3 for the opening half.
Sam's certainly shifting here. Here's Ryan. Been everywhere. To Whitcomb. Up against Reed. Ambitious behind the back dribble. She manages to get it back. Atwell now wants to put the accelerator on. Covered by Samuelson. Scherf, dangerous pass, will get cut off. And Roof, who has been everywhere tonight, will receive again. Almost an alley-oop there for Hawkins. And it'll end up at the end of all of that, a Perth ball.
I want to keep an eye on Tiana Hawkins. She played all 40 minutes of last game, and she's played big minutes now. It'll be interesting to see if she gets any sort of break or if she just keeps going.
She's played 24 minutes so far in this game, the most of any player in the game. To Whitcomb. Margin at 6, 5 minutes gone, third term, halfway through this third quarter. Perth fighting for their season. Townsville looking to hold them off. Bibby closes and scores again. It's a 3-point game.
I give full credit to Sammy Whitcomb for that. She went and headhunted those screens in order for Bibby to get open at the top of the key.
That was great execution here. You see just a lack of knowing the scout. You never go under Bibby. She's too good a 3-point shooter and has shown us that since returning to WNBL this season. Got to fight over on that. Just a lapse of concentration, rather.
So another delay here as the floor gets wiped. Can we at the Cygnett WNBL get a mop sponsor? Is that possible? It would really speed up the games and just prevent floor wiping being a momentum killer for teams. Just a thought, just putting it out there.
Absolutely, but sometimes players just want the breather because the intensity of the game is so high. You just need that moment just to compose yourself. But you talk about momentum, Jason. It is all with Perth right now, and we say it's cliche all the time, games and championships and one in the third. Well, let's see how this one plays out.
3-point game. Steph Reid has it. Hesitates. Goes back to Hawkins. Here's Nicholson. Reid. Hawkins through to Roof. Bibby commits the body. Offensive foul. Basket waved away.
Again, that's one of those inspirational plays like Robbie Ryan. This time, Chloe Bibby putting her body on the line, cutting off the baseline, getting her foot right over. Ruth just extending it, trying to give herself a little bit more room.
And you know what's even better right now? I don't know if you heard it, but I did. The crowd. The crowd is riding the play and the momentum. Like, look at them in the background right now. They're loud, they're boisterous. They're the sixth player that the Perth Lynx need right now.
And Townsville has been so impressive right throughout this calendar year. It's seeing off challenges, winning the tight ones. They're not going to panic. They lead by 3. They'll stick to their system. Perth are going to have to beat them. Scherf, Whitcomb to tie it up. Not with that. Offensive foul. Townsville will get the ball. So you mentioned not a lot of fouls called in this game. Tiana Hawkins has got 2. That's the most of any player in the game. You compare that to last night where it seemed like half the players on the court had 3 or more.
And sometimes that just comes down to the way the refs are calling it or the way the game is being played. Right now, there's a lot of three-point shooting, deep penetration, but no fouls being called as we see another turnover for Townsville. Interestingly enough, they've gone from 3 at halftime to now what is their, correct me if I'm wrong, their 10th turnover of the game.
It was.
Wow.
Steph Reid claiming that one was off the Lynx player. Ref saw it differently. Once again, Perth with an opportunity to tie this up or close within a point. It's become a grind in this third term. 15 points to 8 so far, and we've played more than 7 minutes as Whitcomb hits the floor.
I really like the way Perth are playing as a team right now. So they're not panicking, but they're really executing. So that's get it into Scherf at the high post, and they're looking to screen each other. They know who they're getting open. They're mixing it up on curl cuts. It's impressive.
So the tempo of the game has slowed dramatically, which is not what we thought would suit Perth. But in this quarter, it's become a grind, Screeny, but they've managed to hold the fire so far to just 8 points.
And again, it's come all off getting stops. They had that backcourt, they went to that press action, they forced the hand for Townsville in some turnovers, and now it's allowed them to play a little bit more freely on the offensive end.
Good ball movement here. They are pinging it around through hands. Bibby's open in the corner. Scherf goes herself to have to beat the clock. And they come up empty.
That's poor shot clock awareness there from Lauren Scherf down in the low block. She's got the advantage down low there. So she's got to catch and just put it on the rim and show her assertiveness.
Townsville would love a basket here to push it back out to a 2-possession game. To steady themselves as Perth roll towards them. Reid curls underneath the hoop. Heel. Hawkins looking for an option inside, so she'll put it on the floor herself. Tries to shake sharp. Roof again. Keeps it alive. Nicholson. Reid. Roof. Back out to Loz. Will she take Bibby on? She will. Tough finish. Won't go, and Hawkins now keeps it alive. Ryan Petrick will be tearing his hair out. And in the end, Perth come up with it, but it was hard work. Ryan. Little hesitation, takes on Roof and one. Robbie Ryan, this is your quarter.
She's grabbing at the wrist there, but hopefully she's all right because she's had some epic finishes here. She's grimacing just a little bit. I hope she can shake it off because they're going to need her in this final quarter. But have a look at this. Nice little right to left crossover. Gets Roof wrong-footed, able to turn and spin her body for a beautiful finish at the rim. She's in a little pain, guys.
Yeah, just shaking out that right hand, as you can see, just flexing it. Awkward landing there as she hit the floor. What a quarter she's played. Outstanding from Robbie Ryan, and scores a level. The Fire led by 16 points in that second term.
And that's a foul that I'm willing to live with. If you're the Perth Lynx right there, you wear that one selflessly as a player because they were off to the races there, and that just allows you that a moment to just reset in the quarter or the three-quarter court here defensively and potentially get another stop. They've gone from 10 down to now tying the ball game.
And that was only their second foul for the quarter, so as you say, a smart one to take. This zone has really slowed the output of the Townsville offense.
Hawkins to Reed. Heel to Tiana. And she comes up with 2. So these two teams met in round 13. Perth trailed that day by 16 points in the third quarter. Stormed back and hit the front. Similar vibe. But in that game, Townsville managed to steady and go on to win. That's their challenge right now, as Robbie Ryan will head back to the line, will she?
No, they called that an offensive foul. Yes,
right.
A push as she drove in just to give herself a bit of spacing. And that's the toughness of Steph Reed and the way she can move her feet and keep her player in front and keep that little bit of distance. She's a very good defender.
It's head courtside to Megs.
Tina Aguso has just subbed into the game for Townsville, not for Tiana Hawkins, who's played every minute of this game, but for Michaela Root.
What a workhorse Tiana Hawkins has been right throughout the season for Townsville, but certainly in this final series. Played every minute of the series so far. Ryan has been the spark they were looking for. Whitcomb, we know she can light it up. Sharp, here's some ball movement from Perth. Alex goes one way and then the other, but in the process travels. Trying to make something happen against Shyla Hill. Robbie Ryan takes a seat, a well-earned rest. With 90 seconds left, have an extended break. You get the feeling she's going to have a huge part to play in this final term.
It's really important this last minute and a half, Screeny, that the Lynx, they lock down defensively. They don't want to go into this last quarter with, giving Townsville the momentum and feeling good about themselves.
We saw what happened, didn't we, in game 1, just before half-time. It won them the game, those 2 minutes. Hawkins, back to Shyla Hill against Atwell. Feeds Samuelson, and she was the destroyer the other night, and she's done it again there.
And she was so quiet and hasn't having the shooting night that we've expected to come from that young woman. She was 1 of 7 before that shot, finds her 5th point of the night, and a much-needed bucket for the Townsville Fire.
There's another look from a similar spot. Carly banked one in from 3. As we head back to Megs.
Just want to talk about the atmosphere here at Bendat. The applause for Robbie Ryan when she came to the bench was reminiscent of Game 2 of the Grand Final Series last year when Perth had stud imports in Marina Mabry and Jackie Young. Perth have copped a lot of flack for their list management and the way they approach this season, but it's very obvious Robbie Ryan has quickly become a fan favourite.
It's been taken over by Basketball WA, the Perth Lynx licence, so they've got a real commitment to developing young local talent. We've seen a great core of them this year, surrounded by the likes of Robbie Ryan. Here is Hill. Sharp to Whitcomb. Final minute of this third term. 3-point game. Can Sammy tie things up again? Over the head of Sharp and tidied up by Nicholson. The Fire looking to open up a handy margin once more. They're back out to 5. As we mentioned, they won't panic. They just stick to their system. They've been so good in the close games this season. 5-second differential here between shot and game clock. Whitcomb being pestered by Heel. Will Sammy go herself? Gets to position and draws a foul. Will go to the line and shoot 2. And the Fire will have the best part of 11 seconds to respond at the end.
Just a really good drive again by Sammy Whitcomb. You know, she's looking, she's seeing, and then she changes her pace. She absorbs that contact made by Shyla Hill, and we see her at the foul line.
She misses. A rare miss for Sammy.
It is. She shoots at almost 86% from the free throw line.
Next the second. Kuzo to heel. 3 seconds left for Shyla. Samuelson. Ryan Petrick would have had flashbacks as that shot was flying through the air. Fortunately for Perth, it rims out on this occasion. The Fire head to the final change with a 4-point lead. This game tightening up in the third term. It's Townsville 68, Perth 64.
A sec. Offensively, again, I'm just going to ignore me, but I'm going to keep yelling out Loz Terror, because as soon as I do, that guard starts turning around trying to find it. I'm not yelling at you, I'm yelling at her. I still want a terror, but I don't need it up here. Okay. Yep, that's fine. You can also use Bibby on that. So the other one, again, just so they're seeing different things, you can just start Loz low, almost like pistol 5. Start Loz down there, have a guard inbound it on a dead ball, and have Bibby set the terror screen. So again, 1, terror, cool, Bibby can go away, now we're in pistol 5. Different action.
Let's do that first time.
We good? First walk up here, stack Nash, empty. So get everyone on that side of the floor. Let Sam turn off Loz. And again, go further. That. Again, Loz, hard roll, there's no tag.
Outstanding third term from Robbie Ryan. Moments like this gave Perth the spark. They trailed by as much as 16 points in the second term. Robbie Ryan led her team back into the game. It's a 4-point margin as we get set for final quarter action. Perth Lynx fighting for their season, trying to send this game to a Game 3 decider. They've been steady on offense all night, Perth. 22 points, 21 points, 21 points. It's been at the other end, the difference has come. The Fire, 27-26, held to just 15 in that third term. Hence, this game's tightened up again. Whitcomb, Scherf will go herself, and you get the feeling Lauren Scherf's got a huge role to play in this last 10 minutes.
She does indeed. She's been the cog in the wheel for them for the majority of the season with her rebounding, her scoring, her leadership, and absolutely her passing, and we need her to step up in this fourth quarter.
Samuelson off the front iron. Heel back out to Nicholson. She pulls the trigger. Won't go either. Big board there for Atwell. And Shyla Heel picks up her third foul in quick succession.
And that's what they need to do, the Perth Lynx. They need to get that rebound, tuck it in strongly. You know, they can't get any more second chance opportunities to Townsville. Townsville right now have 12 offensive rebounds, way too many.
Lovely finish there from Lauren Scherf. Great touch. Ryan, the spark, receives from Scherf. They work it between each other. Robbie puts the Lynx in front.
The Robbie Ryan show. It's actually the backcourt show between Whitcomb and her in that third quarter, and now the opening couple of moments of this fourth quarter, they have been exceptional. Whitcomb, 19 points and 5 assists, and Robbie Ryan is also doing some damage.
Nicholson to the corner. Heel rattles out. It's still there for Akuzo. Nicholson holds it up. That's a screen from Akuzo, then feeds it through to Zatina, loses the handle on it. Tough finish. Oh, that's brilliant from Zatina.
She just found a way to score that, to get it off the ground, kept going. good opportunities, and she just made it happen.
Townsville back in front. Scherf, you can see she's wanting to be aggressive in this final term. Takes on Akuzo, but can't finish on this occasion. Hawkins. Heel. Pass through to Akuzo, not on this occasion. So Shyla backs out. Goes to Nicholson. Again, the feed through to Zatina. That's the play they're trying to get going. Travel called on Zatina Akuzo. It's head courtside to Megs.
We've spoken about Tiana Hawkins' minutes all game long. She was having some treatment to her ribs at three-quarter time. They've opted to go with Zatina Akuzo, as we saw, to start this final term and give a bit of another big body to guard Lauren Scherf. Michaela Roof sitting on the bench.
Thanks, Megs. Here's Whitcomb. Try and put Perth back in front. Not this time. Off Scherf. Tidied up by Samuelson. Here comes Shyla Heel. Sets her feet and drains it. Beautiful shot from Shyla Heel.
Good answer by Townsville Fire to come back, recognize the defense had dropped back. Shyla will shoot that shot. She feels open.
Ryan rather at the other end. Then comes over the top and, yep, the foul called for the slap away there.
Our sportsmanship showing there. Just a little bit of frustration from missing that shot, but Shyla Heel, been accustomed to her being able to do that in transition, and she shows us what she can do there.
It's as close to the sideline as Tiana Hawkins has got in this series. Just wanders over to check an instruction with Shannon Seabomb. Straight back into the action. Fire up by 4. Shyla versus Whitcomb. Now Ryan comes across as they switch. Akuzo back to Shyla. Offensive foul. Might be on Akuzo again, is it? So some frustration there for Zatina. Here's another look. Thoughts, Screeny?
Well, it wasn't much in it, considering that if you reflect on game 2 between Boomers and Southside Flyers and what they were calling. But either way, there was a shuffle, and she just eluded that, or the referee saw that, and that was the way they called it there.
Well, Scherf shows, goes, can't finish, but in the process, draws another foul.
And that's what I think is advantageous for her in the matchup between her and Akuzo. Instead of battling down low, get it at the catch at the elbow, and those positions where we know Akuzo is still trying to find her feet and returning to the game, where we know Scherf has been really good in terms of her passing, and sometimes she can just fake that pass and then put it to the floor like she did just then.
86% from the free throw line this season has been absolutely brilliant. 38 of 44 now for Lauren.
I'm interested that Steph Reed has been sitting on the bench for a little while. She's not in foul trouble. Don't know if she's just having a rest and come on, but I'm a bit surprised, I must say.
Margin back to 2. Samuelson, such a danger. Hawkins. Heel's got capacity from long range. There's Carly in the corner. That's the danger.
It was Nicholson in the first half, and now it's Samuelson lighting it up from deep. She's only shooting the 3 of 11, but she's hit some big shots in crucial moments of the game, and none other than that one there.
Well, great work from Nicholson. Ryan dives in. Lauren's got to release it. She does. Heel, go-ahead pass. Hawkins under the basket. Scherf does enough. And it will remain a Perth ball as it's knocked away from Bibby. Critical stop here for the Lynx as they try to keep this close. The floor will just get wiped at the other end of the court.
If they can get a good set here, the Perth Lynx actually draw another foul and force the hand of the referees for Townsville Fire. That puts them almost at the bonus. They'll have 14 fouls for the quarter, and we're only at the 6.5-minute mark. So that plays into the hand when we get lower down into the clock of this quarter for the Perth Lynx.
Just so composed, the Townsville Fire. Teams come at them, they don't panic, they stick to their game, and they force teams to beat them. They haven't been able to. 13 in a row they've won. Scherf goes down, finds it, can't finish. Heel. Hawkins thought about the 3 for an instant. Nicholson back to Shyla. It's past Atwell. Beautiful finish from Shyla Heel. Just added some polish to this lineup. having a real impact down the stretch here. And the Fire once again have opened up a handy, comfortable lead. A little bit of breathing space for the minor premiers. Get to a timeout brought to you by Aussie Hoops. Check it out online if you've got a youngster aged 5 to 10 wanting to get their kickstart in basketball. Aussie Hoops online. Here's Ryan.
Any make, I want to come down into Stack LA. Now again, I still might need the terror screen in the backcourt first, but into Stack LA. So we're all good with that? Defensively, again, I still want to play alternate. That won't change.
Just be aware again, any splits, they want to get kickouts. So they ran that earlier where ball got to here, big dove, and it took both our guard and our big low, and that opened up the skip. Again, it's going to be the low in the eye. The high in the eye will get tagged off.
We good? Play again. Stack LA.
Great composure there from coach Ryan Petrick, obviously talking about the offensive end at one point and then also the defensive end. He still wants to make sure they're up and in and just looking to split action. When he talks about split action, that's the cutting action it's having on the offensive end for Townsville and not getting caught out on that. Right now, they've pushed and Townsville have been able to steady. Can Lynx rally one more time, close that deficit and close that score margin and force this one into what would be a contest down towards the tight end?
Yeah, really similar to that round 13 game. 16 points was the deficit that night as well. They got in front and then Townsville steadied and went on and won. Whitcomb will take that opportunity every time. Heel lost her footing. Sammy finds some space. Back to a 4-point game. Critical basket out of the timeout. Hawkins to Nicholson. Ruth. Here's Samuelson. Back to Michaela. Now Heel. Michaela's open. They'll say shoot that. She does. Won't go.
They'll live with that, Perth. They did a lot of rotating, got the right people to get the ball out of their hands, left it in Ruth.
Whitcomb. Bottom. Scheming. Delivering it to Scherf. Wrap-around movement from Atwell. Now Bibby. Sammy steps back, puts up the three. Rims out.
I was on the edge of my seat for that one. I thought it was going to find the bottom of the net. It just had that intrigue about it. But great execution. That's what they wanted out of the timeout. They just didn't get the points to fall their way.
Hilda Ruth to Nicholson. Charlotte to the corner for Lauren Nicholson. Feeds Ruth. Lovely work.
Perth can't just afford to close out and let that penetration go and then overhelp and just leave a wide open, easy shot.
Ruth with another great defensive stop. She makes the steal. Hill can't finish. No harm done for Perth. They trail by 6 with just over 4 minutes to play. Ryan, hesitation, gets the foul. Drawn on Samuelson as we head courtside to mix.
No injury concerns for Steph Reid, which is good news. She's played the 23.5 minutes, but it's a testament to Townsville's depth. Courtney Woods, who had 42 points across 2 games last time against Perth, hasn't even got on the court tonight.
Yeah, didn't play much in game 1 either. Shyla Heel has worked for them. She had 14 in the first game in that first half, and she's been really good in the second half here as well. Whitcomb. Bibby gets Ruth offline. Now just needs to finish. Can't do so. Samuelson to Heel. Doing the carrying duties in this fourth quarter.
Well, Screeny, you mentioned that the Fire are on their fouls, but we can just see Shyla Hill taking advantage of just that lack of containment and penetration. But one more foul will send them to the line, will send the Lynx to the line every time.
Shyla up to 10 points, having a massive influence here. Margin sits at 8. Bibby goes herself and Hawkins rejects.
She has just been all class tonight. She played 40 minutes in game 1 and has the ability to come out like that and close out on Bibby because we know she's a shooter, but then have the ability and the athleticism late in this game to do that. Just shows how fit and incredible of an athlete she is.
Super season, her first year in the WNBL. Bibby for 3. Critical basket. Margin back to 5. Lynx hanging in here. Can they surge again? Heel has been the danger. She's been the roadblock for them in this final term. Ruth, Hawkins, now at the other end. Big board there for Ryan, who scurries away, wants to put some speed on. She's got Bibby, feeds it through to Chloe. Slight fumble, kicks it out. Scherf, all the time in the world, can't make it go. Sharp goes for the rebound, and it's a Perth ball.
Oh, Scherf was wide open. It hasn't been her shooting night. She's 1 of 6 from deep, but you wanted to take those shots. But how was the follow-up on the offensive board?
Yeah, they changed the call. It certainly looked like a Townsville ball. And Ruth will inbound it.
The Lynx need to come up with a big stop here.
Heel to Ruth. Nicholson. Shyla to Hawkins. Samuelson creates a bit of space for Heel now to work into. Little floater from Shyla. She has been magnificent in this final term.
She has been tough, and especially in the absence of Steph Reed, who Shannon asked in one timeout earlier in this game, are you okay? So maybe potentially a bit under the weather.
Reed's pass a little bit too hot for Bibby. And the Fire are just tightening their grip here as we head courtside to Megs.
Well, it hasn't been a physical game tonight like it was last night against Melbourne and Southside, but that could change in the final minutes if this very vocal Perth court announcer continues to scream in my ear in the final 2.5 minutes. I'm embracing my inner Maddie Rocci.
Thanks, Megs. Just feels like the oxygen's been drained out of the stadium a little bit at the moment. The Fire are pulling away once again. They're out to a 9-point lead. So now we're in something special territory here for Perth to salvage their season.
So impressed with Townsville and the way that they've gone about the last couple of minutes and not panicked. They've been composed and they've just really stuck to their game plan.
Well, they trust their system, and they always have, and that's why you see them go on a 14-game winning streak down that other end. I think that pretty sums up the story for you for the Perth Lynx on the defensive end in the half court. They haven't been able to contain the penetration one-on-one tonight, nor have they had the rotations defensively, and that has really let them down. They've pushed, they've given everything they have, they've thrown everything but the kitchen sink at the Townsville Fire, and yet again, the class and the balance and the system, both offensively and defensively, has risen to the top for Townsville.
Full court pressure there from Perth. Foul.
And we can see Steph Reed in the background, but how great is it for them the way Shyla Heels come in, and sometimes they play together and it looks good, but Shyla right now has really had a great steadying fourth quarter.
7-point game, inside 2 minutes. Heel, Hawkins, Scherf all alone, outnumbered. Support arrives now. No hurry here at all for Townsville. Heel accelerates to the corner. Samuelson steps inside Ryan. Foul called on Robbie Ryan.
And I agree, Screeny, it's that closeout that's hurt them all night. That long closeout to shooters, but just coming out of the stance and just too easy to go around them.
Still got a couple of fouls to give. And the Perth Lynx as Ryan sits down with 5 fouls. She checks out of the game. What a performance from her. She's given her all tonight. Screeny got them back in the game.
Potentially what a season. I think she's been a great pickup for the Perth Lynx, and no doubt she'll be signing on again for next season.
Hope so. Love the player of her calibre and class in the WNBL. She's added so much in the back end in particular of this season. Nicholson can't get the shot away. That matters not. They've chewed up some time.
Like, you feel like Townsville's going to come away with the win, but we know Perth have the capabilities of knocking down big shots when it matters. If it's Bibby, Atwell, they've got Wickham as well. There's still plenty of juice and possession left in this game. 7
points is the margin, Laurie. 86 seconds to play.
Well, they'll be talking about it at this timeout, what they want to do offensively. They need to get a couple of threes. We know they've got a plethora of three-point shooters out there. How do they get them open? And for Townsville, they're going to want to make sure that they do not let them go to that three-point line and shoot it. They're going to make sure that they force them off the three-point line, make them put it to the floor.
So Ryan Patrick addresses his troops. We can't listen into the coaches' huddles in the final 2 minutes of a game. Privacy issues for them as they draw up their plays. So it's a 7-point game. There's Shannon Seabohm. His demeanour doesn't change too much, whether his team's up or down, just very calm.
And the thing now he's probably reiterating to his team is don't foul. You know, don't give up the three and don't foul. Because if you foul, you're going to send the Lynx to the foul line, and we don't want to give them easy looks and close it down in the deficit. They've just got to get a good stop and then offensively get the ball into their hand, run the clock down like we know they love to do, and get a good shot option.
Sammy Whitcomb leads all scorers with 24 points. Tiana Hawkins with 23, did most of her damage in that first half. Lauren Nicholson's got 15, 13 for Ruth. They've shared the load really well once again. 5 players in double figures for the Fire. Once more, 4 for the Lynx. Sammy Whitcomb 24, Bibby 18, 13 each to Scherf and Ryan. They trail by 7 points. Their season on a knife edge. Can they come up with something special? That would help. Won't go, but they keep possession. Atwell spins through, loses the handle. And it ends up being a Townsville ball.
We couldn't have got a better look than that in terms of an out-of-timeout play for the Perth Lynx.
Sharp comes in, fouls Shyla Heel. So 70 seconds, still 7 points. Time chewed up there for Townsville. Let's head courtside to Megs.
It's Operation Face Guard. Sammy Whitcomb was the message from Shannon Seabohm in that timeout. He just wants to see them be disciplined defensively in these final moments. No open threes, and let's get a stop.
It's the Perth crowd trying to will their team on for one last surge. Nicholson to Samuelson. Ruth into the hands of Shyla Heel, who's been superb in helping them close this game out, and she does it again. They haven't had an answer for her in this final term. She's been brilliant. Whitcomb to the corner, off Nicholson, ricochets off Atwell, and it's a Townsville ball.
And you could probably say that is good evening for the Perth Lynx in terms of the loss in this one. But again, on display there is the penetration from the guards of Townsville Fire and the lack of, or the inability tonight to contain the ball.
Interesting to see Shane Hill during the week on social media saying that Shyla's in Townsville to help them win a championship this year, and then she's off to Europe. That's the plan for Shyla Hill. Both teams now in the bonus. Margin sits at 9 points, 45 seconds to play.
Well, when we shift ahead, obviously, to Game 3 with the Melbourne Derby coming up, it's going to be exciting. The lucky thing for Townsville, because they don't run deep. We know Hawkins has played astronomical minutes in these last 2 games, as has a lot of their players. We know Nicholson is underdone with her foot injury. This rest is going to be much needed when they come up against whichever Melbourne team it's going to be.
Game 1 of the grand final next Saturday night, right here on ESPN and KO. Whitcomb, sharp from the corner. She gets one to go. Back to 7 points, 30 seconds remaining. Can they get a stop here? Put some pressure on Nicholson. Now Samuelson. And she's fouled by Bibby.
I think they were trying as hard as they could then to force the foul without getting an unsportsmanlike. It just ran off too many times on the clock, but that was a beautiful finish and find from Whitcomb to Sharp there.
So 12 for 28 tonight. Perth from 3-point range. Their average for the season, 29 shots a game, so they're right on that. Samuelson adds another point, makes it an 8-point game with 27 seconds to play. Timeout's called.
It'll be interesting to see if he starts it in the 3-quarter court or if he, the full quarter, or whether he wants it up in the quarter court action. We saw he took it and advanced it in the last play. And we know they're going to get a quick shot. So there's, again, still plenty of time. We know Ryan Petrick has a great mind for the game. He's probably got a plethora of tricks up his, or in his bag, should I say. No doubt the ball is going to be in the hands of potentially Bibby or Whitcomb.
I think he probably will advance it, Screeny, because they have to get a quick shot, because they need a few shots. So there's no benefit to bring it up the court. So he will design a play that is set up to get a quick shot, make or miss, they're going to have to foul straight away to try and send them to the line to stop the clock again and do the same thing over.
From Shannon Seabomb's perspective, what's his instruction?
Basically, I'd probably be saying switching everything. You know, don't allow the three-point shot, run them off the three-point line, which has probably been the message all night, and come up with possession and know that they're going to foul.
Megs was in the Perth huddle.
So the plan for Perth is Whitcomb layup and foul or Bibby for three?
Let's see where they go. Bibby under the hoop. Here's Sammy for the layup. They get it. There's part one of the equation. And there's the quick foul. So 6-point game, 22 seconds left. Townsville have control if they can be steady from the stripe.
Great execution. Not sure what happened there for the Townsville Fire. And Sammy Whitcomb being that wide open in a quarter-court set, but they've done the right thing. They've fouled early, like Laurie said they were going to do. Nicholson's going to be going to the line. She's a very good free throw shooter.
85%, so got it in the right person's hands.
85 right across her career as well. 140th game tonight.
And look what you two did. How dare you?
It's called pressure. It's the pressure. This is a huge shot, though. It doesn't go. Do they get it? They do. Perth have got it. Scherf. They need a three, a stop and another three. They've got 15 seconds. Whitcomb, she'll go herself. She'll take the two and call for the travel.
And she knew it too.
She knew it. Yes.
We all knew it. We just didn't want them to call it. We wanted to go closer, but just too many steps. So unfortunate.
With the inbound. Nicholson. They tried to foul her the first time. Now they do foul Roof.
I've got to take my hat off to Perth, you know, in that early stages of the first quarter and you know, late in the second. It could have been a 20-point margin at any stages in that opening half, but they came out in that third quarter off the backs of Whitcomb. I think she's been all class all night. She's led from the front, and then Ryan as well. Bibby was sensational after her first game quiet performance. They tried. They threw everything at them, and if a few things had just gone their way on the defensive end, they had have got a few more stops in this fourth quarter, we would be probably saying a different story, but can't take away the credit from the Townsville Fire.
Bibby goes herself. Can't make it. And the Townsville Fire into their second WNBL Grand Final in 3 seasons. They sweep the Perth Lynx and they'll enter the championship decider on a 14-game winning streak. Disappointment for the Lynx, but Laurie, so many positives for this young emerging group. Their first season together, a core of local WA talent capable of developing into a contender in the seasons to come.
Well, we have to remember the start of the season was so slow for them. They had to gel, they had to learn the style of game, and so for Townsville to come off, what's this, their 14th win now? So they are really, yeah, they're ready for the finals. They look fine-tuned. They are peaking at the exact right time.
They led at every change. The Lynx, led by Robbie Ryan in that third term, they managed to get their noses in front once again, and 3 times out of the 5 times they've played them this year, Screeny, they've been in front the Lynx in the last quarter, just haven't been able to go on as the Fire celebrate. And that's the difference, I suppose, on their development curve. Where they are right now, Townsville are in the window, Perth are building.
First half of the season, I didn't think Perth were going to actually be in the top 4 come the end of the season, so it's a credit to them. They've done it on a very different roster to last year, and we know the talent they had in Mabry and Young as well, but make no mistake about it, Townsville as well were at the bottom of the ladder at the first half of this season, and they've just come climbing and just quietly going about their business.
And I love the impact their imports have had. 2 quality imports in Hawkins and Samuelson, and they've both given the team very different things.
Tiana Hawkins, another 38 minutes tonight as Sammy Whitcomb addresses her troops. I'm sure she's really proud of her youngsters and this young group. As he said, they're building for the future, but the future is right now for the Townsville Fire. They are through to another grand final series, and Megs is with Tiana Hawkins.
Tiana Hawkins, you are through to the grand final. How does it feel?
I mean, it's a great feeling. We're one step closer to our goal, so it's a great feeling.
How do you feel? Because you've played 80 minutes over the last two semi-finals.
I feel good. I feel like I can still play some more games, get some more wins. No, it's about competing every night. You know, I try not to buy into being tired or feeling sore. I mean, it's the time in the season where you get that way. You just got to play through it.
Your coach, Shannon Seaborn, just gathered the group together. He finished by saying, and we've got Tuesday off. I think that was the biggest cheer of it all. You've got a day off.
I mean, every athlete loves their days off. So we're looking forward to it, but no, we're looking forward to, be able to rest up a little bit and regroup and get ready for the grand final.
You've had an incredible debut season in the WNBL. You wanted to come here to win a chip, though, but I know you've loved being part of the Townsville community and part of this very special team.
Most definitely. I mean, Shannon believed in me from day one. When I got here with Emmanuel, they welcomed me with open arms, and it's just been amazing my whole time here.
Emmanuel is your 8-year-old son. You haven't seen him since December when he was here in Australia. He's been watching the games. Have you got a message for your baby boy?
Yes, my baby's been watching every game. Emmanuel, Mommy loves you. I miss you, and I'll be home soon.
Beautiful stuff. Well done, Tiana. Thank you.
Well done to Tiana Hawkins. She's been a ray of sunshine in the WNBL this season, on and off the court. Just a wonderful performer, and by all interviews and things, just looks like a lovely person.
And the job's not done. You hear that. She has great performances. We heard at the end of the regular season, they want to win. And whether it's through the hands of her, she was great tonight, had 19 points in the opening half, finished with 23. But to know that she's doing it without her son brings a tear to my eye in terms of that she's got those sacrifices, but she's investing here in her game in Australia and of being a working mum. It's credit to her, and that woman on screen is another one, a working mum. Perth, Laurie, they did everything they could. They just couldn't get the win tonight.
Townsville into the grand final on a 14-game winning streak. Here's Shannon Seaborn, the coach of the Townsville Fire, with Megs.
Well, Shannon, you've won 14 in a row, but that might be the sweetest win because it's got you through to the grand final and you've got home court advantage.
Yeah, that's right. It was great. Credit to Perth. They were really tough today. They really challenged us. I was a bit worried there for a little while, but to our credit, we finally figured out, even if it's man or zone, we've got to still be aggressive and make plays. And, I thought we did a great job to grind that out.
Let's talk about not the winning streak in terms of numbers, but you've won from every position and in every fashion. That must give you confidence in your group.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a resilient bunch. They've been so much fun to coach, and we've had a great winning streak, but as far as we're concerned now, every game's a new game and we're at 0 each game. So, we're going to play as hard as we can. We're really happy to be in the grand final, and we'll see how we go.
Now, when you won Coach of the Year this time a week ago, your players just erupted when your name was read out. I reckon they were louder a few minutes ago when you told them you've got Tuesday off.
Yeah, well, they've been hounding me about that for 3 days now. And I said if we win today, I'll give them an extra day off. So, they did it, and obviously they love having some time off. So good on them. Can't wait to get back into training, though.
Tiana Hawkins, I know when you set out recruiting 2 imports this season, you wanted experience, didn't you? You couldn't have picked better in her and Samuelson, but Hawkins has played every minute of this final series.
Yeah, she's, I can't say enough good things about Tiana. She's, since day one when she got here, just unbelievable person, teammate, great player, obviously. And does whatever we ask, whether it's take 5 shots, 20 shots, carry us, play 40 minutes every game. She's ready to go. So, I'm so happy she's on our team.
How special would it be to have the ultimate success with this group?
Oh, to be the best. That's what every team sets out to do every year. And, we were close a couple of years ago, so it'd be great to go and get it done.
Now, you've got a 12-hour journey home. You're taking the red-eye tonight. Do you sleep on the plane? Do you go through this game? Do you think about Melbourne and Southside? What goes on in Shannon Seaborn's brain?
I don't know. I haven't slept for about 2 weeks, so hopefully I'm due for one. I don't sleep real well on planes, so I'm sure I'll be looking at film and starting to do all that sort of thing. So we'll see how we go.
Well, it's a wonderful story. Townsville on a 14-game winning streak through to the grand final. The coach of the year for the 3rd time could be a championship coach in a few weeks, Jace.
Thanks, Megs. Yeah, advantage Townsville now in more ways than one. They get the job done in straight sets. They win 2-0. So instead of having to play game 3 on Thursday night, they get to fly home, Laurie, and then watch Melbourne and Southside beat the living suitcase out of each other on Wednesday night.
And I'm sure that will be the case too, because the physicality in last night's game, I'm sure will be even up a notch on Wednesday night. So absolutely, they may get together as a team and watch it and just, you know, talk through it, but they'll feel pretty relaxed. They're doing it the right way.
Laurie, you've been in this position that Shannon's in right now, and the players. Michaela may be on the phone to someone back on the other side of the world. You now know that you've achieved the first part of the goal, which is to make the grand final. What does that feel like at this point now?
Well, it feels great. There's no doubt about it. But it also, you know that the job's not done. And Shannon was right. As a coach, you would not be sleeping. Immediately, you would click into the next mode about scout notes. What can we do better from this game? You know, they'll probably have scout notes for both teams. So he'll have to look at double the tape because he doesn't know who he's going to play. And yes, it feels good, but wow, his mind will be ticking away straight away.
Well, Robbie Ryan came off a great college career. She went and played in Iceland for a season. She played NBL 1. And she came into the WNBL this season with big raps. She's been a pleasure to watch. The back half of her season was outstanding, Megs. And this afternoon, she provided the spark that almost got Perth up and going and into the game and maybe a chance to push it to Game 3. You're with Robbie Ryan now.
She has been a pleasure to watch this season, and she had the crowd in ruptures this afternoon. Robbie, ultimately, you don't make it through to a deciding Game 3. How are the raw emotions right now?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. It's been a really up and down season. Obviously, we didn't start off too hot, and I'm just really proud of our team and the fans that come together throughout the season, and just kind of the resilience we showed this season, I think, and really grew together, and unfortunately, it just didn't turn out our way.
You really did grow together and evolve as a team, because it is remarkable to think that you secured 4th spot after a 2-5 start to the season. When did things turn around, and when did you believe that you had what it took to make the Final Four?
Yeah, I think we all knew we had it in us. It just took a while for us to figure out and get to know each other. We're a pretty young team, and just trying to put the pieces together, and it took us a while, obviously. But yeah, then when we're in full swing, we can be really tough, you know, so I'm just proud that we got to that point.
Describe to me what it's been like playing with Sammy Whitcomb, someone like her that has achieved it all. I'm sure she's been an amazing role model and mentor for you in your debut season.
Yeah, no, it's been great just learning from her and just kind of absorbing her energy. You know, she's a really hard worker and very fierce competitor, and I love that energy, and I think it makes everybody around her better. And we also have some good laughs off the court. We have similar humor, so it's been great getting to know Sammy on and off the court.
Well, it's been great getting to know you in your debut season on court, Robbie Ryan. Your growth in this league has been remarkable. Congrats on a great season, and we wish you and the Lynx all the best for next year.
Thanks, Megan.
Well said, Megan Huswaite. Future's bright for the Perth Lynx. 9 of their 12 players on their roster this year are either WA locals or now live in WA, and their home is based there. So they have got the opportunity to build this group together in the seasons to come. Not to be in 22-23 for the Perth Lynx. They bow out. The Townsville Fire through to their second grand final in 3 seasons. Back with more from Perth next. Screen, Laurie Chiswick, in a game that is reminiscent of the other games in this. They've played each other 5 times this year. In 3 of those, the Perth Lynx have come from the back, hit the front in the last quarter, but then Townsville, to their credit, have just been so solid and steady and gone on and won the game.
And that's the sign of a really great team and a sign of a team that really is ready to play in the championship game. They were phenomenal at both ends of the court. They've got depth, they play defence, they're a championship team.
That was sublime tonight. They seemed to go from strength to strength. We know Reed was out, but Hill stepped up in her absence. When you look at the stats, it was a great shooting night from both teams. To expect that and have that as a semi-final game too. Take nothing away from Townsville. Perth threw everything at them. It just didn't come out their way.
So the Cygnett WNBL semi-finals continue Wednesday night. The Game 3 decider in the Melbourne Southside Series, live and exclusive on ESPN and KO. 2 great rivals throwing the kitchen sink at each other. Wednesday night, it's for a spot in the grand final. Who do you like?
Oh, I think the psyche is with the Boomers now. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I think it's going to be ultra physical, and I'm going to sit right on the fence.
Oh, of course you are, Laurie.
So that's coming up. And then Saturday night, game 1 of the grand final. The winner of that flies Boomer series up against the Townsville Fire. That wraps up our coverage tonight from the Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth. The Fire progressing to fight for their 4th WNBL championship.